Hey, what's up, family? This is John Bacon of the Bacon Bits Podcast. And guys, we would love to have you come on down this weekend, February the 22nd, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Donna R. Liggins Center, 2160 North 6th Avenue, Tucson, Arizona. It is the signed, sealed, and delivered worldwide book signing event, and me and the Queen will be down there signing our books. So we would love for you to come on down and see you in person, man. We just love giving out hugs and kisses and family. We want you to come on down and enjoy one of these wonderful books that we have for sale. Family, I would love to see you. Please come on down. God bless.
What up, family? Welcome to the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we desire for you to take the bits of information and immediately apply them to your life for success. Always remember that the Bacon Podcast will be informative, uplifting, and encouraging. What we want is for you to have a balanced life in every area, fam, because I want you to be a whole person. So I want you to say it out loud. Say valuable information applied equals success. And what we're going to be talking about on this podcast today is getting uncomfortable to be comfortable. Yes, I know you're used to hearing it the other way around. I want to get comfortable in being uncomfortable. No, I want you to be uncomfortable so you can be comfortable. Because, fam, there are some seasons in your life. You have to do stuff that's outside the box to get you what you want in the box. You want financial security? There's are times that you got to hustle and grind. You do. You got to work a little bit harder and work a little bit smarter to make that extra money so you can have those seasons when, guess what? You ain't feeling it and the money is already there because you did the work in the season when you was feeling it and had the energy to do it. We talking about in relationships. Man, when you lay the foundation right in your relationships, doing the uncomfortable stuff, bringing up the topics that, most people don't want to talk about. When you do that, you will have sweet seasons of your relationship when things are just flowing because we did the hard work of doing the uncomfortable stuff. Fam, there are times, especially with me working out, you have to always shock the body because your body gets used to doing the same routine, eating the same food over and over again. Your body needs to be uncomfortable to shock it so you can get to the part where you be comfortable, man. You think about the same thing with your mind. You want to challenge your mind. You want to challenge your spirit. Fam, I don't want to keep on saying the same prayers. I don't want to keep on reading just the same scriptures. I don't want to just be going to church on Sundays and going through the motions. Fam, sometimes you have to shock you in order to get you to have the perfect life that you want to have down the line. So you can have that season of comfort. Fam, you want to have that season of spring when you really pulling up the weeds and you planting the seeds and you doing all that good stuff. That's the hard work. Fam, you want to have that summer where you get to chill for a little bit. All you got to do is watch and water and let the sun do what it does. Let God do what he do. And then it's going to be that harvest season where you got to bust your tail, getting the harvest. Because planting the seed, dink, pulling up that harvest, we got to do some work. 3 times the amount of work that we do in the spring season, we have to do in the harvest season. But then there's that season in the winter when nothing is going on. And you got to be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable of knowing that, guess what? All the stuff that you did behind the scenes, the stuff that God is doing behind the scenes, it's all working together for your good. So we want you to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. And how do you go about doing that? First of all, you need to embrace discomfort. View discomfort as a chance to learn and grow rather than an obstacle. That is so important. View discomfort as a chance to learn and grow rather than an obstacle. So say, for instance, fam, you have not been saving money ever. We got to embrace the discomfort of being tedious with saving that. Like I said, start off easy, start off light, start off with that 1%. That was easy to you, then go to the 2%. That was easy. Go to the 3%. We want to get to the point where it's challenging, more challenging, more challenging. And then you get to that 10% or higher, then it's going to start hurting a little bit. It's getting uncomfortable. But when you look at that checking account, you see that money up in there, man, it's going to make you feel really good that you did those little things of discomfort to get you to the point of comfortable of having the money that you said you wanted to have in your savings account, so you can have emergency funds, you can have miscellaneous funds, you can have travel funds, all because you put the work in and not always saying, where's my money going, where you intentionally doing something to make your money be somewhere where you want it to be so you can grow. You embrace discomfort, part of that, when we talked about it. Fam, asking the hard questions. Fam, if you got to go get some card games, and we talk about card games where you can take cards and pull them out of a game and ask people for questions on, the harder stuff that's in your life. Or you can get a card game and you ask your own self the personal harder questions. So it can give you a chance to learn and grow about yourself. Because, fam, I'm telling you, you always should have time in your life that you're trying to produce growth in your life. Please don't get stagnant. That's where we get in trouble. Your relationship gets stagnant. The workout gets stagnant. You going to work gets stagnant. You want to have it where there are seasons of discomfort, but it's seasons of excitement of what it is that you're doing. But you got to do something to change it up for it to be exciting. So you got to embrace discomfort. Number 2 on how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Take risk. Challenge yourself to try new things and learn new skills. Fam, you've been wanting to learn a new language. Let's go. You've been wanting to learn how to play the guitar. Let's go. You've been wanting to get better at cooking. Take some cooking classes or look up some recipes. We're taking risk. It's time to do it. You've been wanting a better job. Stay at the job where you at, but take a risk and see what your value is out on the market. Let's do it. Some of us want to get into a relationship. Fam, you got to make yourself vulnerable and take risk in order for you to have that love that you say you want in your life. Fam, you got to take risk in life. You got to be uncomfortable to be comfortable, and that's how we want to do it. What does the uncomfortability also do? It builds resilience. Because what you can do is learn from your mistakes and accept that discomfort is a normal part of life. Fam, anytime I'm changing up my workout routine, especially at being the age that I am, 57, I be trying new exercises and I be feeling crazy awkward. I'm like, what in the hell is my body doing trying to get this, this muscle to grow and get that, but learn how to stretch even better. And at that point, I'm building up resilience to get, learning from the mistakes because I don't always do the moves right. I have to really take my time and figure out how to do the moves correctly. So at the beginning, it feels like a lot of mistakes I'm making. It's like, man, is this even worth it? But, man, I can honestly tell you guys that I am so happy with where my health is at. And it's because I'm always trying to take risk and build resilience of, let me learn from the mistakes of not doing this position right or doing that workout, hitting the angle of the weights right. Whatever that is, because I want to build resistance, because I want to, guess what? In order for my muscles to be provoked to grow, they have to feel some discomfort. Guess what? You tear your muscles down to build them up. And it's the same thing with other areas in your life. Sometimes you got to rearrange and embrace the failure. Sometimes you got to see the failure for what it really is. The failure is a stepping stone to the success that you want to have. So embrace the failure. Fam, I've said it before and I'm always say it. Fam, sometimes you have to fail in order to succeed. You have to fail in order to succeed. Because we've been doing stuff the way we've been doing it over and over and over again, and we stuck. And we mad at ourselves for being stuck. When in all actuality, if we take the risk to fail until we get better at it, then you're going to be good. Fam, I'm not going to play guitar like the flamingo guitarists be playing if I just start off playing guitar. I am not going to be Michael Jordan if I just start playing basketball. I am not going to be Gordon Ramsay when I first started cooking. Fam, you ain't going to be sweet at whatever that thing is that you're trying to do at the beginning. I use my experience of talking, and teaching classes. Man, I used to stutter so much over my words. And still to this day, at times on this podcast, you will hear me stutter over some of my words. But I still take the risk. and embrace the failure of not being able to say that word, because most of the people that listen to my podcast, I can tell you, they already know what I'm going to say sometime before I even say it, or sometime they know what I mean when I say what I'm going to say. And I'm super grateful for that, because they embrace that. You know what? I don't always want the words to be always right. I don't want, my wonderful producer to always, sometimes clip out some of the, negative stuff that I say. And I ain't gonna say negative, some of the trembling or the stutters I say on the podcast, because that's a part of life. Life is, you ain't gonna get no do-overs. Be like, okay, guys, we're gonna keep on saying this, we're gonna keep on talking about this subject until I start saying it right, verbally. Fam, life be happening where you just gotta figure it out on the fly. And part of figuring it out on the fly is you have to embrace failure, because you're not going to always get it right. But the cool part about it is a stepping stone to the success that you want to have. So yeah, I'm big on, fam, do it nervous, please. Do it nervous. Do it scared. Try it until you, guess what? Keep on practicing it until you get it right. This is always the part that cracks me up about anything, of any area of our lives. Most of the people that we talking about in the areas that we love and we know stuff about, even if you got 1 month clean, even the person that's 1 month clean, when we come talking about the drugs and alcohol, they can talk to the people that's had 1 day and 1 week of being clean, because they've had more experience. The same thing with life. If you've been trying to, work on playing the guitar, and you didn't learn, this little light of mine, or you didn't learn Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. For the person that's just starting, they don't even know Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Guess what? You get to teach them at your level of how to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Most of the time, the people that we are around, a little bit more in this area than they do. So you can just say, you know what, I got, I've just been cooking for, 6 months, and these are some of the recipes I've learned, and they really just stuck in my head on how to do them. Guess what? The other person, they just learning how to cook. So guess what? You have an advantage over that person. But you had to make your failures. You had to, you had to fail at some stuff in order to get better at being at it. So, man, you in a relationship. You've never had a healthy relationship. It's going to feel awkward at the beginning telling your significant other the truth. It's going to be awkward telling them your feelings and your emotions, because you were never able to do that in some of your other relationships. Yes, it's going to feel awkward. And sometimes you're going to fail because the other person ain't going to quite get what you're trying to tell them. Still do it anyway. Still do it, because of that relationship, which is always the first question, is if this relationship is worth getting in, after you done got past the red flags and all that, then you say, you know what, I'm going to keep on allowing myself to be vulnerable to this person that I'm in a relationship with, because I'm trying to build it up to be the best that it possibly can be. So I'm going to have some failures. I'm going to have some hits. But the relationship is worth it, so I'm going to take the stepping stones it's going to take to keep on making this relationship better, better, and better. When you are getting comfortable being uncomfortable, or getting uncomfortable to be comfortable, fam, build your network of people. Build your network of people. Have some people around you that are already doing what you want to do. When they first tell you the wonderful, coping skills, or the wonderful information or resources that you need to get to this next level, at first it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel awkward. I love telling y'all this. Fam, go back sometime and listen to the first couple of episodes of the Bacon Bits podcast. Ooh, they were they were terrible on my part, because I wasn't used and hungry enough. At the beginning, I was like, I ain't gonna say hungry enough. I just didn't know. I'm like, okay, how do you go about doing this? And God bless my wonderful producer, Shay. She's so wonderful. And she helped ease me into, doing what it is that I wanted to do and I love to do. But fam, I can't do this stuff on my own. I can't. So you got to build a network of people around you. Guess what? We all have some similarities, and we're trying to do the best we can in these areas. And in the process of connecting with new people, you talk about your experiences, so each person can learn from your experiences. So it's beautiful, man. Another point on how to get uncomfortable, so you can be comfortable. We got to do the uncomfortable things first, so that we can get to the point where we're good at what we're doing. Develop a growth mindset. I'm going to say it again. Develop a growth mindset. You accept that The uncomfortable situations are necessary for you to grow and to develop. Accept the uncomfortable situations are necessary for growth and development. Fam, growing is challenging in any area and everything that you do. Accepting the uncomfortable situations. Fam, when I'm teaching, new people on how to change their life and have a full life, it's uncomfortable at first because when you're challenging people to have a growth mindset, guess what? You've been thinking the way you've been thinking all your life, and now we're trying to give you new skills on how to change and develop. You sit there and we go through the uncomfortableness together. We go through it together. So we verbally say the stuff out loud. We're talking it through. And I'm so big that you need to talk to yourself, talk out loud so you can hear how you think. You need to do this. It's super important. This is a great way to grow in your life. If I want to have a growth mindset, guess what? I'll be thinking about ideas of like, man, what can we do to develop the podcast even more? What can we do to advertise it better? How many more people do I need to reach out to talk to help me better promote this? I want to get to the point where we making some serious money doing these podcasts so we can continue to do more of the things that we want to do to help people grow in all of the areas that the Bacon Bits podcast help people grow. So I have to get out of my comfort zone. I do need to get more guests on the podcast so we can tell them about their expertise in those areas where, guess what, I can only take you so far. And I admit that, and I'm cool with knowing that I can only take you so far. But to bring on specialists in the areas where I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm the only person that can do this. No, man, there's some people that can do this way better than I can in some of the areas that we talk about. So getting more people that can expand my own growth, because I'm going to be learning with some of the guests that we have on here. I'm going to be learning just as much as y'all will, because I want to be better and I want to introduce people to people that I know that are doing the doggone thing in those different areas. So developing a growth mindset. Because, man, you got to have the uncomfortable questions to ask yourself for personal growth. And I'm going to even throw some questions out there that will help you with asking the uncomfortable questions to help you get comfortable. Because guess what? We all want to be on automatic pilot and cruise control sometime in our lives. I don't want to always be stressing about money. I want to have that cruise control, season in my life where the money is flowing. Fam, I want to have cruise control when it comes to my relationship. Man, we doing so good and we doing all the challenging seasons that we got to a season where, man, I like this spot where we in right now. Man, your health, same thing. You always don't want to be pain and being achy and being stuffed up and muscles is tense. You want to have a season where, man, the health is going so good, you ain't even thinking about your health because you're eating right, you're stretching, you're lifting, you're walking, doing all those wonderful things. You're getting the right amount of sleep. So sometimes you got to get a bit uncomfortable to be comfortable. So some of the questions I want you to ask yourself as you're listening to this podcast. Am I living my life to impress others or to fulfill myself? And even throw in there additional part, am I fulfilling my the desire that God has for me to fulfill his perfect will? So am I living my life to impress others or to fulfill myself or fulfill my purpose of what God wants for me to do? Great question to ask yourself. Number 2, what would happen if I failed, and am I avoiding the fear of pursuing my dreams? Let me go back and do that again. What would happen if I failed? Let's just stop right there. Are you going to die? Most people ain't going to die if they fail with making these changes they need to make in life. Okay, so that's good, so we ain't going to die. Maybe I might be a little embarrassed. That's possible. Well, I might feel a little discouraged because I failed. Because we won't be good at everything that we do. Yeah, I failed. But then I got to ask myself, am I avoiding the fear more than pursuing my dreams? And am I avoiding the fear more than pursuing my dream? Fam, y'all know I'm big on play the TikTok, play the Instagram post, which is a 15, 30-second video in your mind of what it looks like for me to fail at this thing that I'm trying to do. And then I want you to turn back around and do a 15-second to 30-second video in your mind of what would happen if I fulfilled my dreams. I want you to really think about that. Am I avoiding the fear more than pursuing my dreams? If I fail, what's going to happen? But fam, what is the other part? Man, think about that. If I succeed at this, whatever this is, how much more better is that thing going to be in my life? What is that? Another question to ask yourself. Do I say yes to things I secretly resent to avoid conflict? So if I'm a people person, do I say yes to things I secretly resent to avoid conflict? So you think about the people that surround you. Because guess what? Sometimes, you want to do stuff with family and friends. Totally get it, man. They moving. You got a truck. So they're going to ask you, can they use your truck to move? There are some people that need some resources to the things that they're trying to do, and they might ask you for an investment. There are some people that might ask you for advice in some areas that you have some expertise in, and it's going to take you a little time of your life to help them with their things that they're trying to accomplish. Are you saying yes just to appease them? Are you saying yes to avoid conflict? Or are you really saying yes because you really want to do it and you want to be a blessing to somebody else? But are there times that you say yes to something and you just don't want to, tell that person and let them down by saying no? But do you know that no is a full sentence? You ain't got to explain yourself. When you don't want to do something and you really you have a good reason why you don't want to do it. You just want to give up that time because, fam, you can't get time back. So I understand when you say no to something. Sometimes it's just because I want to take that time and use it for something else more productive for me. And ain't nothing wrong with saying that. There are those times. But, fam, why are you really saying yes to what you saying yes to from somebody else? Just so you can avoid conflict. Another question you want to ask yourself is, what are my core fears and how do they influence my choices? What are my core fears and how do they influence my choices? Because if you're not careful, your fears will stop you from ever achieving and living the life that you want. Remember I told you in the middle of this, I said, man, do stuff scared and do stuff with fear. Because I want this so bad that all of the failures that I might have in the process of trying to achieve this is worth it. Because in the end, when this does happen, and every now and then, God will close some doors that ain't meant for you to open. But when I do achieve this thing that I'm trying to achieve, how much more better will I feel for doing what it is that I'm doing? And I'm just going to use right now this podcast. I've heard so many people, whether it's my coworkers, whether it's some clients, some old clients, that get graduated. They got a year, 2, 3 years, man, 5 years up under their belt of being clean. And they said, man, some of the words that you have said has inspired me so much, man. And this is why I keep coming back to the podcast to, get refreshed on what's the latest thing that you're talking about. That stuff just stokes my fire right there. It keeps me going. But can I get to the point where I'm like, man, am I just doing these just to be doing these? Or am I really being a blessing to those that's around me? And fam, there's a lot of people that are looking at you for advice. And you got to be out there to say, you know what, I'm willing to fail in order to be a blessing to them. I'm willing to make my mistakes and teach on those mistakes that I made so that nobody else has to make those mistakes. But I want you to really think about that. What are your core fears? And we all got some fears, man. We all have fears. The fear of, how is it going to feel to get older? That's the truth. What's the fear of me not, finding the love of my life? Great fear. Fam, what is the fear of me not ever living my dream of traveling or getting my dream job? Fam, there's some fears out there. And, God has not given us the spirit of fear. I do truly believe that. But can we be honest? And there are some things that is really making us think about life as we know it. Yeah. There are so many people that have feared, what's going to happen under Trump's administration. Let's just use that one, fam. It's the truth. It's changed the atmosphere of the United States. It really has. And you think about that. So what is my fear of that happening that's going to change the other stuff that's happening in my life? I might have some great causes and some great events and some great things that I want to accomplish, but in the bigger picture of where my life is at, how is that going to affect me? That's just one of those things you think people don't take in consideration, but it's the truth. So what is that? My core fears, and how are they influencing my choices? For some things, it's making me not even take a chance on what I really want to do in life. That's big, man. It's stopping you from really going out there and testing the waters to get in your dream career, get in that dream relationship, having the dream health that you want. Man, it's stopping you from having because, fam, sometimes it's some stuff that we want, but we're not doing it, that we can't even sleep at night because we know, like, deep down, I should be taking this risk and trying to shoot my shot in this area, but I don't want to be uncomfortable. Fam, you got to be uncomfortable so that you can get comfortable and have that season that you've always wanted, but you got to put the work in and get uncomfortable. So some key points to the questions that I ask is, how are they challenging your perception? These questions force you to look beyond your usual self-image and confront areas where you may be settling or avoiding discomfort. I hate that word, but I'm glad it's a word that's out there. What are you settling for? You settling for that job you know that you really don't like, but you just do it anyway because some little money coming in? Are you settling for that relationship that, man, you haven't put the work in to challenge it to see if it's worth being in the best this relationship can be in? Or do I need to go ahead and be single and satisfied versus being married and miserable? It's challenging. It's making me see, why am I settling for this? Why am I settling for this? Most of the people in my family, and I'm just using this as an example. This is not my family. But I always think about Patti LaBelle, always about this, where she said, all of her sisters, and I think her mom died of breast cancer. So what changes does she need to make so that she don't end up getting breast cancer? Can she make some changes? Yeah, she sure can. And so, if people in my family usually get diabetes, what am I doing to make sure that I don't get diabetes? Fam, that's some great questions to ask yourself. But am I settling by saying, well, if everybody else got diabetes, I'm going to get diabetes? Well, if everybody else is on government assistance, I'm going to be on government assistance. Well, if everybody else is, using drugs, I guess I'm going to be using drugs. Man, Don't settle for anything in life or avoid being comfortable. Don't avoid just staying comfortable. Fam, be challenging with yourself. What some of these questions ask you is how to expose undeserving motivations. By asking yourself, what is your reaction or behavior in certain ways? You can identify deeper fears, insecurities, and desires that might be holding you back. Think deeper, think deeper, think deeper. Man, ain't nobody in my family ever did a podcast that I knew of before me. Man, I think only my cousin Kellen had wrote a book in our family before I wrote mine. See, there's some things that, typically our families have not done, but are we going to take the risk and actually try to do something that's, is in your heart, man? Oh, my God. It's deep down in your heart where you can't deny that thing is in you. But you literally are saying, because ain't nobody else in my family done it, or that's not the way I've seen it done, we stop being challenged and going to do that thing that we need to do. Fam, I want you to really think about that stuff. Really think about it. You have got to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. Find somebody that's going to help provoke you to do the things that you really want to do in life. Not that they quit questioning you to provoke you to think, man, why is he really trying to do that? But some people that's trying to provoke you to live your best life. Get you some accountability partners that you can speak to and talk to about the situations of where you want to go and what you want to do with your life. And they're there to support you and to encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Fam, this is your boy John Bacon with another segment of Bacon Bits. Get uncomfortable so that you can get comfortable and live the kind of life that you want. Love you guys. God bless. All right, what's up, family? It's your boy John Bacon from the Bacon Bits podcast. Thank you so much for your support, likes, and ratings. Please don't just listen, but rate me, follow me, and subscribe. This is an amazing way to offer free support. My beautiful queen and I have some books that we have written for your growth.
So the first book we have is a workbook, actually. It's called Healthy Relationships, and this is a workbook through the lens of faith. Because what makes a relationship healthy or unhealthy? So this workbook is designed, it's a 12-week, it's a biblically grounded course, and every week has a few different principles. So some of our principles, some of our topics that we're covering are respect, cultivating security. And this is not just between a husband and wife. This is between parents, between siblings, between friends, between your bosses, employers. So it's really important, and everyone deserves a healthy relationship.
And also, we have The Balanced Life by John Bacon. It covers how to be prosperous in your finances, relationships, your health, your mind, and your spirit. So you can pick that up on Amazon, also on audiobook. And we also have
The Unraveling, a creative healing journal, pinings, poems, prayers, and ponderings of my precarious life. I've had a testimony of, I've had 2 brain tumors and 2 brain surgeries, and I'm super grateful, but I'm still grieving the process of healing. And this is part of the process. In this book, you have devotionals, you have prayers, and you have some ponderings. And in between these pages, there's a space for you to also be prompted to paint and to create your own, or maybe you want to write something in these books. This is part of your creative healing journal that we get to walk through together.
And you guys can just head over to Kingdom Servants First. Kingdom Servants, the number 1, st.com. And you can purchase all 3 of these books. Thank you for your support, your love, and your contributions. God bless.